Okay, everyone. Pony Thoughts number 4. I must say, I really liked this episode, but let's be honest. I'll take off my glasses so my webcam light here doesn't reflect so badly. And I don't need to see, so. Basically, I loved this episode. There's just one problem with it. And that is, I think, Hasbro stole my OC. No, seriously, they did. There's a pony in here named Fluffy Cloud. Okay, he's a Pegasus. And he's not female, but I've got an OC in my Fallout Equestria Duty story who's named Fluffy Cloud and is a Pegasus filly. You stole my OC, Hasbro. No, really. I like this episode, even though I do think it does deal with a darker theme than many might realize. I mean, it was overall enjoyable, with Tank having to hibernate, and this musical number was just awesome. But I think it deals with a much darker scheme here. Not just the, oh yeah, I've got to let my pet hibernate so it will stay healthy thing, or letting go of something dear for its own good, which is always an important lesson for children. No, what I think this is their subtle way to address death. I mean, I'm not that well read when it comes to tortoise hibernation. I'm googling it just now. Oh, apparently they do hibernate, but I think it is their subtle attempt to, as I said, to tackle the subject of death. Because Dashi is like totally, no, I don't want to let him go, and I'll do everything that he'll stay with me. And yeah, that's the thing. From my own background as a nurse, I can just say that I've seen relatives do that to their relatives, to the patients I had, going like, oh no, I don't want him to die, I don't want her to die. Do everything, regardless of the medical procedures that they ordered, if they were actually good for that person, or if it wouldn't have been just better to just let that person go. So I think that's what they are tackling here, because if Rainbow Dash knew that he was definitely coming back, even though she wanted to do all this crazy winter stuff with him, then I think she would have. She just would have let him go. Because, you know, it's good for him. She would, in the end, accept it. Not like she did here, but she would just accept it. Hey, yeah, you got a hibernate tank, so go ahead. It's sad we can't do anything in the winter together, but... And what really brought this idea of them trying to address death here, what brought it home to me was the song. Because if you listen to it, Rainbow Dash sings that, yeah, one second, that she'll do anything, that she doesn't have to be the one to be alone. And she's doing everything just so he will stay awake. Even though it's bad for everyone else. Winter doesn't come, that's bad. That's bad, Dashi. So, yeah, I think they're subtly trying to address death here. Death is something we don't see in this show, because it is a children's show. Let's be honest about that. And I don't usually overanalyze this, but the moment I saw this thing with Dashi not wanting to let him hibernate, I was like, okay, they are addressing death. Maybe not directly, like really losing Tank, but like really showing that she has to let him go, to accept that she won't see him for a while. I mean, if someone really dies, you won't see him again, but this is just a subtle idea that I think they had with this. Of course, all the things she does in that musical number, like directing the Pegasi to actually circle the snow around the cloud, or busting all the clouds, or stealing skis and hiding them under a blanket of leaves. It was enjoyable, but I can't shake this feeling that they were addressing death here. And they did it very well. They did it very well. Also, from the get-go, everyone was telling her, he will hibernate, and he will come back, and it's totally normal. You see, that's also something that I have seen several times as a nurse, that the doctor just goes to someone and says, just let him go. Or let her go. It's better. That's really deep here. And that Dashi would go so far. I mean, she's a fan of the Wonderbolts. She has grown up in Cloudsdale and everything. And that she would go so far as to sabotage Cloudsdale just shows how alone she would feel without Tank. I mean, I've seen crazy cat ladies before, and I've seen people who were humanizing their dogs. I mean, I once saw a dog who had his own cell phone on his collar. That was crazy. But yeah, that's basically all I gotta say here. It was a very good episode. It was enjoyable, but you should, if you keep in mind what I just said about death, and this episode subtly trying to address this, then you might see it as well. What I really liked here was how Fluttershy was the one, Rainbow Dash, your winter will be petless. That was so cool, because she is the element of kindness, even though they have given away the elements of harmony and now have this big shiny castle and the flank vibrator thingy going on. All I can say is, yeah. It is sometimes kinder to just say something outright, to make someone accept something. I mean, if back then when I got my back injury and was told that I couldn't work as a nurse anymore, the doctor could have come to me and said, look, I've got to tell you something, and try to make it as painless as possible, but then I think that wouldn't have been good. He just came right to me, handed me my my results, and told me what they meant, and of course I was shocked. I was totally shell-shocked. I was reacting kind of like Dashi here. But I got over it. This little hurt, just get it over with. Or I've heard of doctors in a cancer clinic who didn't go in and tried to be all empathetic. No, they just glued the X-rays to the windows so the patient could see what the result was, and said, "That's your result. You have 6 months to live. You have two options: either you stay here for therapy, live maybe a quarter of a year longer, and be in pain and puke all the time, or you go home, die in half a year, but spend that time with your family. Honestly, wouldn't you appreciate it if someone was that honest with you? I mean, it's brutally honest. Okay, in this case, it's brutally honest. But I would personally prefer that. And that role is filled here by Fluttershy. And then everyone starts crying. And Pinkie Pie is like, Applejack is crying inside. And Applejack, yes, that's true. And I was like, you don't look like it. You totally don't look like it, AJ. Really. But all in all, it was a good episode. But as I said, this was, I think, the premise of this. Them trying to tackle death. There's another thing. Let me see if I can find it. It is in that musical number. Yeah. Dashy's beachwear. Like that. Okay, no. I mean, those glasses and that. Okay, a yellow top. Okay, I could see her wear something like this. But swim shorts with. I mean, like magenta swim shorts with yellow flowers? Could it be any more tasteless? Oh, and yeah, sun lotion on on Tank's shell. No. I don't even know if you can get a sunburn there. Also, I think we have a new meme here, which is, or several. Either it's Rainbow Duck. I'm calling that right now Rainbow Duck. If anyone else says that, I said it first. And, do I look angry? Yeah. That was hilarious. So, yeah. Oh, and that, what I don't really understand is, there's one thing in this episode again that I would say, no, that could have been done different, because Dashy should definitely get some kind of punishment at least, because I know all those Rainbow Dash fans out there will now say, no, she just did it for Tank, and she loves Tank so much, you can't punish Dashy. Of course we can punish Dashy, she wrecked the weather factory, goddammit. Now Ponyville has winter, but what will happen to all the other areas of Equestria where they don't have winter yet? She wrecked the fucking weather factory. And of course, we have every pony visiting Rainbow Dash here in her home, which I guess they used Twilight's balloon for, or whatever. And Pinkie Pie, as usual, has to do her own thing and just walks through the wall. So last episode, it was Snowflake or Bulk Biceps who did that, and now it's Pinkie? Yeah, I mean, these clouds, these walls are made of clouds, but okay. We can only assume that Twilight cast a cloud walking spell on Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie again, because otherwise, fall to their deaths. And I'm pretty sure that they shouldn't be able to walk through walls if they have a cloud walking spell on them. I'm pretty sure that the cloud shouldn't, like, close up so quickly again. So basically, if I were Dashy in that situation, I would be like, hey, you're walking through my wall. You'll pay for that. You see, there should be consequences here. Dashy basically threw off Equestria's whole winter schedule She doesn't get punished. I don't know how much equipment she wrecked here, but from what I see, she emptied the water tank. She damaged that huge pump thing. And she basically set off every single lightning bolt in the storage. So definitely there should be some consequences for this. Because basically this is telling children, yeah, okay, you did something horrible. You caused major property damage, but no, you tried to help your friend, so it's not a big deal. Yeah. I mean, okay, it's pastel color, candy-colored horses. So, it's not really like we can call for realism here, especially in a world that literally manages its own seasons. But yeah. And by the way, I'm calling another meme, and that is Snow Nuke. Sincilius, Visual Pony. I hope I missed nothing. And I'll upload this together with chapter 23 of Fort Equestria Project Horizons, which I finally finished editing. And I might record another gaming video after this. Haven't done one of those in a while. Yeah. Where is my Windows Media